unpopular.
Oh, hey, everybody. Welcome to a very special episode of Hey Unpopular.
Hey, unpopular.
Oh, we're so sad. We're supposed to be partying right now, Jeff. It's America's birthday year. I don't even know why we're reading the news.
I mean, it's the only way to stay in contact with the birthday boy.
Yeah, that's true. Whose birthday is it?
America.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Fuck yeah. America.
We get to watch it die on its birthday.
It's America's 250th. We've been talking about it a lot on the Conspiracy Pod. Everyone in the hallways of the You Don't Even Like podcast headquarters psyched for America's 250th.
Honestly, America's done nothing but good things in the past few years, so I'm all in. And also, what a time to be alive. I was thinking about this the other day. We get to be here as America dies, and that is a very unique thing to experience. And it reminds me of when I used to teach about like dynasties and stuff. And I would really push, like, most golden ages of empires last about 300 years before they fall apart under their own weight.
Yeah.
Right. Now it's like 300 years is like the average. And I would be like, and at the time I was like, and we're like, 230. And like I called the shot 20 years ago. Like in 2006, I was like, you better be ready because we're wrapping up.
Yeah. I don't know if it's coming right now, but it feels like it might. It could go either way.
We're not exactly at the point where the Visigoths are coming in and like, we're not abandoning the Colosseum and stealing the bricks to build our homes with now. But like Rome wasn't destroyed in a day either. It takes a minute.
Now, I know I promised in a very recent episode of the Monday show that we were going to kind of take a break from politics and things of the like. But sometimes something of such a magnitude happens that you get pulled right back in.
I don't even think this is political. I think it's spiritual.
Yeah. We're cleansing souls today is what we're doing.
We're paying off the methed out twinks of God now.
We're talking about the sad death. Sad, untimely death, I would say, of South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham.
We need a candle in the wind for Lady, the way we had one for Lady Di.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Southern bitch.
Yeah, where's Elton John when you need him?
I don't know. They probably have run in a few similar circles.
Oh, I would say so, probably. So in moments of widespread national grief, the kind of which we're all experiencing, it's tough on all of us,
The fireworks outside keep me up, So close to 4th of July, he's really just extended the fireworks in my neighborhood.
Yeah, I have to fire a gun into the ground every hour as the prophecy dictates.
Yeah.
It's what I have to do in return for what happened. So it's stress on all of us.
It's like a salt burn for Republicans.
Yeah. So today we are going to cross the aisle and we're going to give people on both sides reasons why at the end of the day, maybe you shouldn't be so sad about the untimely passing of an esteemed politician cut down in his political prime.
R.I.P. to the realest, most honest, most spine-filled person we've ever had to discuss on this show.
He had the spine of a jellyfish dipped in titanium.
Just the spine of a Texas senator. Man, them Southern senators have nothing, huh? The thing that is very interesting to me is how Republicans worship at the altar of masculinity. And they choose as the people who represent their states and their country, let's be honest here, because the president, the most unmasculine, cowardly, greedy trolls. That's so wild to me that they've been gaslit into thinking Trump, who's a New York liberal who's never gotten a callus in his life.
Right. And who, as Connor McSpadden points out all the time, big Broadway guy, loves a Broadway musical.
Ted Cruz, who was verbally dog walked by Trump. His entire family was insulted. And the next thing he knows, he's making calls being like, please vote for the guy who called my wife a dog. Like, what kind of fucking man are you? And then Lindsey Graham, who is cosplaying a strong, straight Southern senator. And it's just like, you guys not Now you choose to be progressive because he's obviously a certain way. Literally nothing wrong with that. But you know who disagreed? Lindsey Graham.
Yeah. And we'll get to all that. We'll get there.
Oh, I can't wait.
We're going to get to that part, especially.
Now that the bit is gone, how fucking satisfying is it that he died?
Yeah. Here's the thing. Like I always say, I'm not ever going to be the guy who goes on social media to celebrate when someone dies, but I've really figured out that that's mostly just because I fucking hate social media and I don't find it useful. I don't get any validation from it. It does nothing for me other than an avenue through which to promote things. So I use social media mostly for that. That said, with someone like Lindsey Graham, if someone is celebrating that he died or just expressing that they don't care that he died or anything like that, you cannot respond with, oh, have some decorum, have some sympathy.
Pearl clutching is dead.
Yeah, think about this man who had a family and children and all of these things. This is a guy who actively passed legislation, actively voted in favor of things that took rights away from people, killed people, made people's lives actively worse. And because there is not a specific face that he could see when this was happening, these aren't even people to him.
Stats.
Yeah, they're numbers. They are what he needs to achieve his agenda. And his agenda is getting rich off of war.
The worst part about his death is that it was relatively painless. It was an aortic rupture. That is a 2-second death.
So, yeah, I completely understand why, even if it's not oh, we should all be in the streets celebrating the fact that Lindsey Graham died. You know, maybe not, but I would agree that as a force in politics, he was a negative on the world, and it's better for everyone that he's not there anymore. What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that.
Whether it happened by way of him dying or losing an election, it is for the best that Lindsey Graham is not a public figure anymore.
Because here's the thing is like you see it on the right side when they do it with like Alex Preddy and Renee Good. And you're like, those were victims.
Yeah.
Lindsey Graham is not, he's quite the opposite of a victim. He's a predator.
He's a perpetrator.
Yeah. He is an absolute, complete and total bag of human garbage that happened to fool enough people to vote for him. And then the South really hates voting for other people once they vote someone in.
Yeah. He did what he needed to do, as we'll talk about specifically on this episode, to continue profiting off of war. Lindsey Graham was a lifelong war hawk, and all he wanted was to make sure the U.S. kept spending money on war.
We should check his donors.
Yeah.
Stock portfolio.
So again, we're just going to go through some of the reasons why, no matter what side you're on, maybe set your grief aside for a little bit, and let's talk about all the reasons why maybe you shouldn't be sad about the untimely death of Lindsey Graham. So young. Someone did actually email me and ask if I had any conspiracy theories about the death of Lindsey Graham, which is the kind of thing I would say as a joke usually. Like when someone his age dies, I'll sometimes text Jeff and be like, oh, how you think it happened? It's like, it's obvious how it happened. He's old.
Oh, what happened to Betty White?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, what do you mean? What happened? They're an old person who lived evilly.
Yeah.
Betty White, I'm thinking about.
Betty White. Yeah.
Yeah, no, the conspiracy theory, it is definitely one of those things. Like, I loved that big joke that he cut in front of Mitch McConnell, who's dead, by the way.
Maybe not.
He's, at the very least, he's brain dead.
I think in the case of both of them, what's it matter? It's not like they're going to get replaced by the Kentucky and South Carolina versions of AOC or some shit. Lindsey Graham's already being replaced by what? His daughter, sister, wife, something like that.
His wife? Did he have a wife?
I don't fucking know. Don't act like him maybe being closeted gay precludes him from having a wife.
Yes, no, I know. I mean, but he was just so egregious about it. Like, talk about a loud secret.
Yeah, but there's more to Lindsey Graham than just those rumors. So let's say you're on the right-winger side of things and somehow find yourself listening to this episode.
He was unmarried.
Oh, was he? No way.
Can you believe it?
For the right-wingers listening to this, I don't know how you got here, but you're here. Sure. Let's talk about all the very mean, hurtful, rude and nasty things Lindsey Graham said about Trump in 2015 when almost everyone was assuring us Trump was never going to win. I think there were some exceptions in the media. Don't remember who they were. Back then, Graham had the audacity to think he could challenge an in his prime Trump. Side note, someone actually said that in the comments recently. I think it was me and Connor were talking about how Democrats should have just run Bernie in 2016 and things probably would be a lot different. And someone replied and said, y'all need to stop with thinking Bernie Sanders could beat a prime Trump. And it's like, prime of what? He barely beat a deeply unlikable candidate by a few votes after the FBI announced they were investigating her.
Debbie Wasserman Schultz tanking Bernie is one of the all-time we see.
Yeah.
But whatever, we're not Bernie bros on this show either. We're like, yeah, he probably would have won. He probably would have.
Maybe.
He didn't. It didn't happen. So we're not here.
I'm just saying the idea that he was some sort of savvy, effective politician, and that's why he won in 2016. Get a fucking life.
He appealed to very stupid people and people that liked being heard.
And people that hated Hillary Clinton. And don't short sell the idea that a lot of it had to do with her being a woman.
It's a reality.
Yeah.
You know how women start all those wars?
Yeah. Yeah. Women with their emotions and things, as opposed to very calm, level-headed business like Donald Trump.
Level-headed businessman Trump, who should never be allowed in a bathroom with his phone.
No. So back to the mean things he said about Trump. Lindsey Graham, that is. In the course of trying to sell the American public on his own viability as a presidential candidate, because Lindsey Graham was trying to run for president in 2015 and 16 also, he said some very mean things about Trump. For example, Trump has no idea what the world is actually like and is not qualified to be commander in chief, end quote. Unlike salt of the earth Lindsey Graham.
He's done some stuff on Earth, I guess.
Donald Trump gets his foreign policy from watching television, the Cartoon Network.
Welcome to the roast show, folks. Roast battle.
Got him.
Not.
Donald Trump is not a conservative Republican. He's an opportunist. He's not fit to be president of the United States.
Oh, Lindsey, you don't like opportunists, eh?
Yeah.
Methinks somebody notices that when one points a finger forward, they have four fingers pointing back.
Yeah, no one likes an opportunist, Lindsey Graham. Let's carry on. If we nominate Trump, we will get destroyed, and we will deserve it.
My favorite part about that tweet, he never deleted it.
Yeah, never. Still up.
He's a man of principle or too stupid to know how to delete it. One of those two things is true about Lady G.
And again, just a rude and hateful person without a shred of decency, saying such mean-spirited things about Donald Trump. And why? Because the Mount Rushmore of terrible presidents is just two pictures of Reagan and Trump each. That's enough reason to doubt Trump in 2016.
Take that, Franklin Pierce. Fucking bitch.
God damn it. Fuck you, Harding. Asshole.
Warren G. Hard on is more like it.
So, yeah, big deal. Get over it, Graham. But then, if you're on the other side of things, a radical left lunatic like Jeff and I, for example, you might take exception to the fact that Lindsey Graham very quickly took all of those things back that he said about Trump. Jeff already touched on it a little bit, but the degree to which Lindsey Graham changed his feelings about Trump and how quick it happened is really one of the most remarkable things about his career.
He really saw the light.
He sure did.
He saw the sign.
Yeah, it opened up his eyes.
About being a Nazi, just like Ace of Base. Am I right, folks?
Hey. So there's a theory floating around that the reason for Lindsey Graham's change of heart when it came to Trump was that he was a closeted gay man, and Trump must have had compromising information about him, threatened to expose it, and therefore Lindsey Graham was blackmailed into supporting Trump.
I'm going to actually disagree with this theory. Everybody knows that he was gay.
Also, I would disagree on the grounds that it's really cute to imply that Lindsey Graham had good intentions at some point, because that's what that theory implies, is that, oh, he was going to fight Trump, but then Trump just intervened and blackmailed him.
No, he's an opportunist.
Yeah.
See previous entry. But also it's just like, oh, well, that means he could have been blackmailed by every twink in the Chesapeake Bay. This man was single-handedly supporting the arts. Like there's going to be a lot of candles lit in a lot of raves. What I'm saying is he paid for a lot of gay sex from young meth addicted men.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, if you would believe all of the truth.
People have definitely come out and said it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I don't care. I wouldn't care about that part. And again, I don't want to get too deep into it because it's obviously the last thing we're going to talk about in the notes. I don't care if he was fucking gay. I care about all the legislation he signed taking rights away from gay people.
That's the thing. Yeah. He's not just a war hawk. He's also a chicken hawk.
Yeah. I don't give a shit if he was supporting the arts.
No, it's probably one of the only good things he ever did was put money into those young men's hands by putting something else into those young men's hands.
But again, that's for later in the episode, because back to this idea that he was blackmailed into not supporting Trump, it's giving Lindsey Graham way more fucking credit than he deserves. I used to say way back when that I had my suspicions that any Republicans who don't like Trump, I used to say it about John Bolton all the time. My suspicion is that if you were a Republican who didn't like Trump, it was probably because of all the isolationist talk. Yes, comments, don't fucking lecture me. I know Trump's not actually an isolationist, just like Trump wasn't actually pro-Palestine. But he did say things that implied he was an isolationist while campaigning both times.
Spoiler alert, famed liar lies.
That is what Lindsey Graham was opposed to. That was always what Lindsey Graham was opposed to, was the idea that Republicans might elect someone who would not entertain the idea of keeping America engaged in forever wars. A lot of people voted for Trump because they thought he was going to be the guy that did that.
And there was like 9 Republicans who were like, hey, you're fucking up our party. That's it.
And so that is what was behind Lindsey Graham's opposition to Trump. We'll link to an article on The Nation, which talks about a book that you can actually read on Substack that we'll link to also, called The Corruption of Lindsey Graham, written by a guy named William Salatin, a journalist for an outlet called The Bulwark. Goes through Lindsey Graham's transition from Trump opponent to Trump's biggest ally. Because that's the thing. He didn't just flip-flop. He's a fanboy now, or was. RIP to a real one. He says that in the days after Trump won in 2016, Trump called Lindsey Graham and asked him for foreign policy advice. And that's kind of all it took for Lindsey Graham to be like, okay, this is fine. Here's a quote. If he couldn't be president, he wanted to shape the president's foreign policy. End quote. That's a quote from the book. Here's a quote from Lindsey Graham in 2019. I went from, okay, he's president, to how can I get to be in his orbit? End quote. Again, this is a guy that Lindsey Graham called an opportunist. And now here he is in 2019 being like, oh, why did I change my mind? Because I'm an opportunist.
Also, like, you said that out loud?
Insane.
That is that's unhinged behavior to say something like that out loud and be like, oh, okay, we understand now. We get you.
And it's almost kind of like collaborator-like, as if he might even be hinting at, well, you know, for my own safety, what am I going to do? I got to buddy up to the guy. It's like, nah, you don't.
Isn't the point of like electing somebody like that you believe they have a spine? Like, that's so weird to me.
A year after that, Graham was quoted as saying, quote, I've never had more access to a president than I have with Donald Trump, end quote. Now, this is from the book. Graham's bargain, going easy on Trump's domestic behavior while pressing him on foreign policy, paid off. From Syria to Iran to North Korea, Trump was doing what Graham wanted, end quote. So Lindsey Graham stopped hating Trump because Trump stopped being an isolationist. That's all. That's all it was. Lindsey Graham loves war. So if you're one of those right-wingers who voted for Trump because you thought he was an isolationist, neither is Lindsey Graham. Sorry.
Hate to be the bearer of regular news.
Yeah. Hate to be the bearer of publicly available news since the mid-90s.
Oh, man. It's so funny. Like, anybody that would be like, what? It's embarrassing.
After that, he started staunchly defending Trump, no matter what. When Trump said he was going to unleash fire and fury on North Korea, Lindsey Graham jumped in and, probably on social media, told Kim Jong-un that if he tried to play Trump, it would be the end of him. I'm sure Kim Jong-un was like, ooh.
It's like, I'm in North Korea.
Yeah.
Come on over. What are you, Dennis Rodman? You can't get over here.
When Trump said Elon Omar should go back to where she came from, Lindsey Graham stepped in with the old, he was just mad defense, and that he'd never say that to a Somali person who supported Trump. Here's a quote. A Somali refugee embracing Trump would not have been asked to go back. If you're a racist, you want everybody from Somalia to go back. What an amazing fucking defense.
What? I'm sorry. What the fuck did you just say?
Let me clarify for everyone listening at home. What he's saying is, well, Trump just said something racist because he's mad. If he was really racist, he would have said the racist thing about everybody. And I think we can all let out a collective, oh, okay.
Oh, all good. All good, dude.
I didn't even think about it that way. I'm the stupid one. I might even be the racist for not thinking of it that way.
People are saying this about you. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, he decided defending Trump to this degree was the right path solely because he realized Trump was not an isolationist. You name a shitty U.S. foreign policy from the last 20 years, Lindsey Graham supported it. First war in Iraq, second war in Iraq, war in Afghanistan, genocide in Gaza, anything and everything in between. Lindsey Graham supported it.
He's like Jafar. He's like a queer-coded Disney villain whispering into the king's ear all of his devious wants. It's so stereotypical. It's offensive you're this person. Like, you're being a very offensive stereotype, sir.
So just, again, keep that in mind when you're lecturing people about decorum. Yeah. If you are one of those people, it's likely because you also don't see the untold numbers of people whose lives have been impacted, sometimes ended because of the things Lindsey Graham has supported. You don't see them as people. You see Lindsey Graham as a person. You should be seeing everyone as a person.
People are also people. Just because they're a statistic in Time magazine doesn't mean they're not people. It's just that you have grown accustomed to not really care. I don't know what else to say. But it is good to know that once Lindsey Graham aligned himself with Trump, he stayed steadfast in his support of this man. That shows gumption. It shows a rare spinal activity that you would get from one of these people. He stood strong. He supported his guy. And he never once went up against Trump after that, which, all the other things aside, I will give him that. I will give him his propers in that case.
Just a rod of tempered steel for a backbone on that guy. Anyway, what's next on the list? Thing? Oh, shit. Oh, damn. January 6th, 2021.
Okay.
First off, I had to Google it to remember what even happened. I know if you're like me, you're probably like, is that when Kobe Bryant died? No, that was January 26th, 2020. January 6th, 2021 is when we flew democracy into the side of a mountain.
We really just, with a shaman.
No masks.
Like Roberto Duran, no mask.
So that's the day we stormed the Capitol, obviously. And Lindsey Graham, for reasons unknown, got deep in his feelings about that. Here's a quote. Trump and I, we've had a hell of a journey. I hate it to end this way. Oh my God, I hate it. From my point of view, he's been a consequential president. All I can say is count me out. Enough is enough, Jeffrey. He actually said Jeffrey at the end of that. That's weird.
I know.
What the fuck, dude? I think history has proven you got to give a guy one insurrection attempt before you cut him out of your life completely.
What kind of friend are you?
Yeah.
You say, I'm going to stand by my guy.
Yeah. We were just crediting the legendary backbone of Lindsey Graham. And now we come across this. I didn't even remember this because, again, I didn't remember what happened on January.
Good times. You know what happened? Freedom was brought back.
Exactly.
It was attempted.
So, yeah. How about that? Right wingers, this guy wasn't even in favor of January 6th. He probably doesn't even think you should have that job with ICE right now.
He hates you.
Balderdash, I say.
Everybody says that because it's reality.
Yeah. And it's a good word.
It's a fun game.
But then I guess on the radical left Trump derangement syndrome, lunatic side of things, you could be upset that despite all of that criticism for what happened on January 6th, depending on who you ask, it took Lindsey Graham anywhere from a week to about 40 minutes to change his mind.
Oh, he went back to Trump. Oh, that's bad. That's not a strong decision to make.
This is, I think, all jokes aside for a second, this has to be one of the most damning things when it comes to how you should view Lindsey Graham and how he makes decisions. This was clearly him in the moment being like, well, no way Trump's going to survive this. I better get out right in front and be like, whoa, this was too much. I'm off board. And then as soon as he realized Trump wasn't going to go down for that shit, he was like, uh-oh, better apologize to Trump.
Yeah. So this is one of those things where you really have to like the part of this that is really frustrating is like if this was a parliament, for example, any place where they're allowed to get particularly animated in their representative bodies, this dude would have been raked over the coal. Like he would have been called spineless. That you can't do that. Like you're not allowed to be like, look at this fucking guy. You know, like that's insane to me. Cause like anybody with half a brain in that job, like if that person was at your job and you were at like an HR thing, or you'd be like, what's the deal with this fucking guy?
Yeah.
Screwing everyone over. He's doing intrigue. It's ridiculous.
People have lost elections for this exact thing. John Kerry very famously got accused of being a flip-flopper because he changed his mind on like one thing. And people were like, well, he can't be president.
That was 20 years ago. That wasn't that long ago.
Yeah. That
You
was
know, like
pretty recent in the big scheme of
2004.
Yeah. Most of the involved parties are still alive. Some of them still trying to be president. So if Trump is to be believed, it took Lindsey Graham all of 40 minutes to take back what he said. And I don't know, that feels like too specific of a number to be a lie. Here's a quote. Now, he had one bad moment. That was the January 6th thing when he stood up. All right, now I've had it. That's it. I can't do it anymore. And then he called me about 40 minutes later and he said, did I really say that? I can't believe it. And he took it back. End quote. That's Trump on Fox News saying Lindsey Graham walked back all of his January 6th criticism less than 45 minutes.
What a little pussy. He's such a pussy. Like I hate using like gendered insults like that,
but still,
come on, man. What a fucking, what a lily, like he's a lily livered coward. You know what he is? He's what people used to insult people in the old West with. In like old movies, you'd be like, you have a yellow stripe down your back. Like that kind of shit. It's like, oh, he's that.
And I can't stress enough, no matter what side of the voting aisle you're on, this should concern you. You shouldn't, if you're a Trump supporter, you shouldn't be like, well, he came back around. No. At the moment it looked like your guy was going to go down, Lindsey Graham immediately got in front of cameras and was like, fuck that guy. And then the minute it became clear that that wasn't going to happen, he called that guy up and was like, sorry. This is not a serious fucking person.
No.
Trump also added that this is why he ranks Lindsey Graham, quote, a 99 out of 100 as a person because of this one little moment, quote. I would love to see a comprehensive list of Trump's Madden rating for people.
Because he had your back in Evil Town, USA.
Am I crazy?
Yes.
Though, just the part where if someone went on TV and was like, oh, fuck Adam, even if 40 minutes later they called me and were like, hey, dude, sorry, I would deduct more than 1 point for that.
Some are saying.
I would maybe deduct at least 10 for not calling and saying, fuck you to me first before going to the TV, if nothing else. So I need to know the methodology behind Trump's ranking here.
Yeah, like who's 100 out of 100, LeBron?
He said there's lots of 100 and that Lindsey Graham's just a 99 because he got a little mad on January 6th.
Who didn't?
Yeah, exactly. What's Mike Pence, a 98? Anyway, even if he didn't take back the criticism quite that fast, although I totes believe he did, it didn't take him long to get back to publicly gushing over Trump. He celebrated Trump's acquittal on impeachment charges a month after that January 6th quote. By May, he was saying shit like, can we move forward without President Trump? The answer is no. I've determined the Republican Party can't grow without him.
Because they fucking mutated it. They used to just be greedy assholes.
Right.
And like, racist. But now it's like, it's evil. It's extra evil.
And even Lindsey Graham, if you look into it before Trump, he did have a little bit of a history with sometimes siding with Democrats on things, including immigration. He voted in favor of two Democrat nominated Supreme Court justices that most of his Republican peers did not vote in favor of. And I know it's tempting to look back and be like, Lindsey Graham used to be all right. He used to be a pretty level-headed guy before Trump. No, he was just a fucking opportunist then, too.
Yeah. Who was in charge?
Yeah. He was buddying up to the people in power. He had no fucking allegiances at all.
He was a coward.
Yellow-bellied coward. He just slid more and more toward full-on cult member in his last few years. His most recent quote, I think this is from like June of this year. It was right. Well, whenever he won his primary, I believe that was June. Lindsey Graham just won another fucking primary. He said, I want to thank the big guy, God. Trump comes later. Mr. President, you're not far behind God, but we're going to start with him. End quote. Imagine saying that about another person. Holy shit. I would never.
What an embarrassing person to be.
Yeah, or to have been. And so that brings us to Ladybugs. There's no better way to end.
Classic.
You hear Ladybugs mentioned in reference to Lindsey Graham a whole lot. And what is that all about?
Well, you about find out.
You about to find out right now, hell. That's my Lindsey Graham.
Hell now.
He's one of those people, I honestly have no idea what he sounds like. Anything I've ever heard him say, just in one ear, out the other. I didn't write it down.
Come on now.
But the Ladybugs thing kind of plays into the last reason why it's okay to not be sad about Lindsey Graham, which is his virulent support for taking away the rights of people in the LGBTQ community.
A community that he is a part of.
And see, here's the thing. We could just stop there. We could just stop at, all the voting against the rights of LGBTQ people. Good enough. Goodbye. Good night. That's it. But yeah, he was also at least allegedly part of that community, which does make it a little bit worse.
The allegations are aggressively strong and based in, it would have to take a very interesting network of individuals doing one of the most unheard of conspiracies you could possibly imagine.
I don't know what the evidence is here. I'm going to talk about a couple things that kind of kicked off the suggestions that he was a closeted gay man, but I don't know what, like, are there videos? Are there like,
there's a lot of corroborating stories from a lot of people who do not necessarily know each other. That is the exact same thing.
Yeah.
There's a reason we know the name Lady G. He didn't tell us.
Yeah.
A bunch of twinks were like, that's what he goes by.
Yeah.
How would they know that?
And again, cannot stress enough. Don't care. Don't care if he was a closeted gay man. I don't need every gay person to come out and tell me. That part's all completely fine. But it's what he did in his role as a politician relating to that community, regardless of his fucking sexual preferences, that made him a bad person.
He was, it really came in with the Lady G thing. It was kind of during the pandemic when shit was getting really weird. And basically it was like, he was using male escorts.
Yeah.
And so that's a little bit more obvious when you're not just keeping it on the down low, but you are literally paying for it to be on the down low. But like, they're not signing NDAs. And again, sex work is valid work. We're not saying that using a gay escort when you're a gay man is an unethical thing. The unethical thing is you're also trying to ruin those escorts' lives.
Yeah. I would also argue that on the escort side of things, were it not for Lindsey Graham's history of voting the way he does and the things he supported that stripped gay people of their rights, I would actually feel like the escort was kind of in the wrong for outing Lindsey Graham at that point.
Yeah, what's the morality ethic law of the escorts? Yeah, I'm not sure.
In this case, I'm fine because we're going to read the post, and the whole reason this guy, one, he didn't by name out Lindsey Graham, but it's pretty clear who he's talking about. But he provides a valid justification, and it's the same justification we're providing right now, which is he actively harmed this community that he is also secretly a part of. That's why he was outed, not because he's just secretly part of that community. I bet that describes a lot of fucking politicians.
Yeah. And also there's this other pearl clutching thing that people and it's a left thing where it's like you don't out another person, where it's like it's their decision when to out themselves. And you're like, you know what? I think this is what we like to refer to as an extenuating circumstance.
And that's exactly what I'm saying. Without all of the legislation in his background, this social media post would be fucked up, because then you're just outing a closeted gay dude. It's like, I don't care if he's closeted. That's not hurting anyone. That's his business. But it's when he gets into all the other shit. So here's the post we're talking about. It's a 2020 social media post by gay adult film star Sean Harding. What a great last name for a male adult film star.
Sean Harding it up.
Yeah. There should be another male adult film star called Sean Hardest, and they should have a fucking beef.
They should have
beef.
What does beef mean in this specific instance?
Several things. Here's the quote. There's a homophobic Republican senator who is no better than Trump, who keeps passing legislation that is damaging to the LGBT and minority communities. Every sex worker I know has been hired by this man. Wondering if enough of us spoke out, if that could get him out of office. I cannot do this alone. If you'd be willing to stand with me against LG, please let me know. End quote. He's probably not talking about the electronics manufacturer. It would be funny if he's talking about Liam Gallagher from Oasis, but he has not been involved in enough legislation.
Yeah, I thought a twink. Right, fit right in it.
Again, this is just an unconfirmed social media post, and it doesn't even name Lindsey Graham in full. But if you were investigating that post, Lindsey Graham would be the top of your suspect list.
It's like looking at a wall with Wile E. Coyote's shape hole and being like, I think that might have been Wile E. Coyote that went through that wall.
And has he never been married?
I think that's the case. He's been a swinging bachelor around town.
Swinging bachelor in deeply conservative South Carolina. Okay. Did he have a roommate?
Well, probably several, but none that we like. The only thing of like relationships that you can see when you look him up is he has a sister.
So after that post, another user posting under the name Paunchy Peach posted this about an encounter with allegedly the same person from Harding's post. I apologize for what's about to get burned into your brains, America. Here goes. When I came out of the bathroom, he was on the bed, naked, on all fours. I noted that there were dark marks around his anus. I asked if he had showered. He said yes. I asked if it was okay if I wiped him down. He said sure. I wet a face towel and wiped between his buttocks, and nothing was coming off. Then I realized that his taint wasn't dirty. It was just full of moles, dark moles in dense clusters up and down the length of his taint. Oh, he said, hope you don't mind. Those just my little ladybugs.
Now you know the origin of the ladybugs, folks.
Yeah. That's why they.
Which is, we don't body shame in this household.
Yeah, I don't care.
But we do dunk on dead evil hypocrites.
Yeah. So I don't know. Are there ladybugs on his taint? If so, this post could very well be true.
That's what we should have done in the autopsy.
Yeah. Is it too late?
Oh, I'm sure them ladybugs done flied off for the winner.
And we keep saying, all of this would be not a fucking problem if it weren't for the things he voted for. I don't know if we can even go through all of it, but we will link to GLAAD.org, GLAAD, has a thing they do called the accountability profile. They have one for a bunch of different representatives, politicians, things like that. Lindsey Graham's, they just updated it July 13th, 2026. When we say he's voted against this community that he is believed to be a part of, we don't mean a time or two.
We're talking 3 decades.
Yes. It spans 4 decades.
Well, yeah, because it was started in 96.
Yep. First instance, 96, he co-sponsored the Defense of Marriage Act, defining marriage as between a man and a woman, which was signed into law in 1996. And behind closed doors, he was like, I ain't never getting married anyway.
Oh, I'm just a swinging bachelor. I don't mind if I don't get married. That way, no one's going to get mad at me when I show my little ladybugs to the other little girls.
And even if you're a right-winger, him maybe being gay and voting against his own community, that should give you pause. Because that, to him, what he's saying is, oh, I'm above those people.
Yeah.
I'm like, what I'm voting for is not going to impact me. It's going to impact them. And if he thinks that way about gay people, he thinks that way about everyone.
Yeah. I would also like to add that the voice we're doing is a Lindsey Graham voice. We're not doing a stereotype voice.
I have no idea what Lindsey Graham
He
sounds
literally sounds like a soft Southern belle.
So yeah, I'm doing my best designing women.
But I realized as we're going through, yes, he talked like Delta Burke in designing women.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Like, but I do realize as we're going through this, where I'm like, people might think we're making fun of just a man for being gay, even though we've said that's not what we're doing here.
All right, I'll change it. September 13th, 2000. He argued against federal hate crime legislation, saying it was not needed and that it would divide Americans.
It would divide Americans.
Is that a better Southern accent?
That's the voice for him. Yeah, let's do Sam. Well, y'all know I'm a very gay man and I like to have sex with twinks for money.
Now that was 2000. His next act comes in 2006 because in between there, he had to deal with a big time crisis. 9/11 happened and he had fucking weapons to sell. So he couldn't really crack down on the gay community like he wanted to. Takes a few years off, comes back in 06.
Yeah. He's like, oh, I got to turn my attention to the brown.
Exactly.
Oh, I got to turn my attention to the brown people across the world.
Voted for the federal marriage amendment to the Constitution in May of 2006. Released a statement expressing his support of the legislation, claiming it was needed because, as he put it, traditional marriage is now under attack.
How come you ain't been traditionally married, Lindsey? Oh, don't worry about that. Pay no attention to the man behind the closet door.
Cowboys too busy working the fields to get married.
You think I got time when I'm putting up all this barbed wire to keep the livestock in?
And to keep the gays out?
Say what you will about George W. Bush. At least he knew how to use a tool.
Yeah.
You know, like at least he didn't like misrepresent who he was.
December 2010. Voted against allowing gay and bisexual people to openly serve in the military by opposing the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell. 2013. When the Supreme Court ruled against the Defense of Marriage Act, Graham expressed his disappointment in the decision, saying in a statement that he believed in traditional marriage and noting he voted for the law as well as wrote a brief to the court expressing his desire to see it upheld.
One key point. Today's Supreme Court ruling will not change South Carolina law, and I will continue to fight for and defend the traditional definition of marriage.
That's a better Lindsey Graham, I bet. I bet that's what he really sounds.
That is what he really sounds like. Yeah.
We're just being assholes.
When he comes out of like surgery or something.
Yeah. So 2013, busy year for him, restricting the rights of gay people, voted against the Employment Non-Discrimination Act, which exactly what it sounds like, opposed adding same-sex couple protections to an immigration reform bill. 2015, following the Supreme Court's ruling in Obergefell versus Hodges, which legalized same-sex marriage nationwide, Graham released a statement calling himself, quote, a proud defender of traditional marriage and stressing his support for religious liberty.
I'm a big old, strong, proud defender of the traditional marriage that I somehow have avoided my 70,000 years on earth.
As a straight Christian Marlboro man, I defend traditional marriage.
There's a couple of things I like in this world. It's traditional marriage and a lady with big boobies.
Big old knockers.
I love a big set of hooters because I'm Lindsey Graham.
The Lindsey Graham.
I'm the Lindsey Graham. I'm going to get in my Ford F-150 and drive my way over to Hooters.
So we'll link to this. We could go on. This goes up until June 30th, 2026. This man, until his dying fucking day, was doing things to make sure gay people had as few rights as possible. So that alone is reason to not be too bummed that this guy is gone.
Hey, you're not sad I'm gone. I'm residing in all of your hearts. There's a little bit of Lindsey inside all of you, which is also a thing I used to say to the LGBT community of the Chesapeake Bay region.
Oh, rest in power, Lindsey. So yeah, we'll link to this. You get the idea. Since 1996, all the way up through 2026, this dude was voting wrong, all while spreading war throughout the world. This guy was not a force for good.
30 years of blowing up and also blowing down.
I don't get it. What do you mean?
Oh, because he was exploding people with a lot of the weapons and the wars that he was pushing. And then
I didn't get
we
what
may
the
have
blowing
brought
up
this
meant.
up but he was a cruel anti-LGBT legislator that was also actively engaging in that community and taking advantage of those in need in that community.
Oh, I get it now. Yeah. Yeah, this guy was bad. And I honestly feel like no matter what side you're on, the only way you could look back on Lindsey Graham's career and be like, that was good. That was good. It's if you're rich and profit off of war.
If you're Ted Cruz, he is a paragon
Yeah.
of he's goals. If you're Ted Cruz, like Lindsey Graham, if South Carolina got blizzards, he would have also flown to Cancun.
Oh, 100%.
My family wants me to take them to Cancun. These are my sons. These are my 6 sons.
But I'm too pro-America for that. So we're going to Florida instead.
I'll take my 6 young twink sons with me. Don't look too deeply, and please no photographs, but these are my sons. As you can tell by I am a man in my 70s, and they are young men in their 20s. These are clearly my sons.
My illegitimate children.
Don't ask what scandal. What do they do for work? They're hardworking men. That's what they are.
Here's the thing. I feel like if South Carolina found out he did have illegitimate children, then they would have been off board. Then they would have been like, what? Huh?
I mean, maybe, but also that's a thing men used to do back in the day, and you'd be like, what a man. You know, that's a Don Draper ass move, you know, like they'd be like, what a fine, upstanding man doing it the way it used to be.
Lindsey Graham's dead, and this episode is dead. I mean, it's over. We're done. I think we reached the end of the episode, right? I don't think.
Did you make it? Did you make it to the end of the episode, or did we hurt your feelings about Lindsey too much? Because we know we got a lot of Graham stands.
Yeah.
We don't mean to be Graham standing here, but
sorry to anyone who is still in their grief over Lindsey Graham. We get it. Tough time for America.
And it's also okay to make fun of and be cruel towards hypocrites.
He's a public figure.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. People are going to criticize. And when you lived your life the way Lindsey Graham lived his life, which was taking shit away from people for his own benefit, people are going to say shit when you die.
And killing a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
But we wouldn't do that for like your parents.
Yeah.
Unless you paid us enough. And we would absolutely roast your parents on an hour long.
Yeah. If you want us to roast your dead parents, we'll show up at the funeral.
We will. It'll be a team up.
We will pitch it as a TV show.
Be tagging in and out like the Heart Foundation.
The fucking roast of your recently deceased relative starring Adam and Jeff. That's actually not the worst idea.
They really go through it. Yeah. We'll be rocking into funerals like Funky Finger Productions from In Living Color. Just
do it.
Can you listen to our podcast?
So that's our episode. Jeff, thank you so much for doing the pod, except for Jeff.
Oh.
What do we have to plug before we get out of here? I got nothing right now, but we'll have things. I want to do a new season of You Don't Even Like Sports soon, or we might do a podcast about collecting, or maybe we'll do both. Who knows?
We've been bandying about some ideas.
We've been tossing them around like a seal with a fucking beach ball.
Yeah. Arf, arf, arf.
Arf. Jeff, what do you want to plug?
I will be hosting a candlelight vigil for Lady G. So if you guys want to check that out, that will be at the Abbey. It is currently closed because of the sinkhole, which I believe the sinkhole in West Hollywood is directly a result of all the negative energy over Lindsey Graham's death.
I think so. Yeah.
I think the upset energy that has come from all of the collective community has literally destroyed the earth.
I agree.
Have you seen those sinkhole pictures, by the way?
Yeah.
It's intense. But hey, I have cool friends. I have a show called Jeff Has Cool Friends, which you can check out early access to uncensored episodes with bonus content at patreon.com/Jeff May, where you can also get early access to Nerd, where we covered the He-Man and She-Ra Secret of the Sword. That is up there as well. That's for free. Boy, that's a bad movie. We had Mike Slater on there. And also the Monthly Flow with Andrea Gazzetta. Tom and Jeff Watch Batman over on Gamefully Unemployed. And I open cards on the @JeffHasCoolCards channel on YouTube. If you're going to be at Comic-Con, make sure you say hi. I've got a panel with Adam Todd Brown. And that is Atif Meyer's panel on Friday. So you're going to want to check that out. If you want to see me live, Mint on Cards the second Friday of every month, Blast from the Past in beautiful Magnolia in Burbank, California. Adam, should we go say a prayer for Lindsey Graham?
Let's get the fuck out of here. Jeff, say goodbye.
You get the Lindsey Graham retirement card, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody. We love you.
Jim Mint dead.